always got the same style, although they've got a couple of different iterations that they've played with now in the RLCS Season X. And that is to try and bore their opponents to death. Hey, there's nothing. Hey, listen, nothing worried about that one. What a shot by Freaky. Calyx just doing a little celebratory flip there. Freaky punishes him with a beautiful angle shot. No, but jokes aside, they're a very defensive team. Fadeaway will just park the bus and win 1-0.
It's a very... You can always tell like certain players are on certain teams. It's always been Freaky style to get that 1-goal lead and defend it. He doesn't need any more than that. And it has worked for him thus far in his career, but so far this season, a little bit more difficult. Freaky already powering the ball to the other side of the field. And this is now going to be where those playmakers from Triple Trouble come into play, because they now need to part this defense. That is not going to be pushing forward too much. Freaky shot. No real danger either side. Oh, nice demo as well. But yeah, this is already a bit of a tough situation for Triple Trouble to find themselves in. They're going to really struggle to find Fadeaway too far out of their own side of the field. It is just going to be take every challenge you can get, and if you get a free ball, boom, it's the other side of the field.
Yeah, and I've got probably an interesting one for you, Shogun. Do you think that we'll see a third man from Fadeaway committing to an offensive play?
I'm going to go for
that.
yes.
We kind of saw one there, but there was a rotation back, so I don't know if it's really just a full team.
I'm going to go for what Gibbs did earlier. I'm going to bend the rules.
Okay.
I'm going to go yes, because we just kind of saw it. I don't know.
Yeah, it was sort of. Yeah, that was kind of a late rotation back. Oh, it's in. It's a trip on the goalpost. Tadpole will tie the game as a floundering Fadeaway defender failed to get back.
Yeah, Tigray having a bit of an argument inside the goal. And yeah, that's a little bit of a calamity, but a lot of credit for that as well. Should go over to Bluey, who was bumping on the goal line, making life very difficult for the Fadeaway comms. And now, Fadeaway got to go back on the hunt. They would have very much liked to have sat on that goal. Not going to be able to. It's already evaporated in front of them. Infield pass, and the crossbar will deny them this time around. Yukio wants the reset, but too much time taken means Bluey can try and clear the ball.
I love the infield passing from Fadeaway early on in this game. We've seen a couple that have been extremely effective. No goals from them just yet, but I would expect some success later on in the series from those infield passes if they can keep it up. Gotta look out for the interceptions, though, from Triple Trouble. I'm sure that they've also clocked onto the fact that that's a consistent strategy that Fadeaway are already going for.
Reminder as well, whoever wins this one, got BDS over in the next round. So not only is this a very important matchup in terms of getting your regional off in the right direction, but also it's sort of an audition. We're all looking out at the moment. What is going to be the team that can possibly put BDS down to the lower bracket? Both these teams trying to show whether or not they might have that in them. Half the game gone so far. Yukio, flip reset for him. He uses it very early. Try to take out Tadpole, and this is my one issue. Right now, a lot of the Fadeaway offense, it's very slow when they go towards the backboard, but Bluey's not going to be slow at all for this. That was brutal.
Yeah, perfect touch there from Bluey. Freaky got a bit outplayed by Tadpole, actually, on that setup. Tadpole faked a 50-50, actually just did the fadeaway to fadeaway. He pulled away from the challenge and let the ball bounce off his car one time. That wasn't the 50-50 that Freaky wanted.
Freaky can clear the ball long yet again. Both these teams didn't make it into the top half of our finishing teams last time around, so they're both going to want a better result here. I'll make sure that they can confirm where their major spot is going to be. Freaky, he's managed to get it past Tadpole, but again, it's a bit slow. We see Tadpole, who was already low on boost, was able to get all the way back just to put a little bit more pressure on. Tigray this time. Second touch into the midfield. Here comes Freaky, and he will score it for the brace.
Really good game so far from both teams. And the offense is really working out well for Fadeaway. Look at the triple touch center from Tigray. That was fantastic. And Freaky had a lot of faith in him pulling that one off. He was ready with perfect timed approach to the near post. We have a tie game, and it's, looking at it just as close as we expected it to be. I'm already smelling a game 5, Shogun.
Ooh. I'm not up for game 5, especially as we start off what is essentially not Europe Day, but Europe Week. We head in towards the festive season. Can Yukio give as he goes straight over to the mid? Freaky's touch, not that great. Calix, nice block from him as well. Still tied up at 2 each here. Both teams having good looks offensively. Calix is already forward. Tadpole might have wanted this chance to move on in. Freaky, gonna leave it for Yukio atop the crossbar. Actually, no, Yukio's all the way back. It was Tigray that came in for the shots.
Yeah, it was the other Yukio.
If it's off the crossbar, I don't think he's gonna want reminding of that. A minute left here. Very much a game up for grabs for either team.
Yeah, it does look like Fadeaway are trying to keep the ball as far out the field as possible. This is kind of their style. They're not a team anymore who park the bus on the goal line. They'll park it on the halfway line, which is kind of similar to what G2 did in Season 9 of RLCS. They were able to just box their opponents into their halves. But they do it a bit differently. Fadeaway actually let the other team touch the ball. They don't have that swarming pressure denying any possession whatsoever to the opposition that G2 once had. They just read the touches very well that their opponents do decide to make.
So far, they've got themselves stuck. Tadpole and Bluey both colliding in that play. Yukio's not in a very nice spot, and Tigray also has to just hope that nobody else is moving on in. One more chance before we head over to overtime, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen for either team. Bluey, though, still scrambles to keep the ball alive. Over to Calix. Yukio chooses not to go for the bump, and instead takes out the next player who the pass was aimed for.
Yeah, nice off the ball play there to deny the 0-second goal. Calix might get one right into overtime. That was a great save from Tigray. Calix, still one of the best players for RLCS Season X that really nobody was talking about preseason. He's had a few huge plays, and it's good to see, like Gibbs was saying on the desk, that Triple Trouble, despite a fairly disappointing fall split, they've not made any roster changes. That is, really cool to see.
I look to try and make something of this off the backboard. That's really awkward. Calix moves on in. Chooses not to take the first time shot. I do have to agree with it. It looked like it was very well defended. Don't want that ricochet to just go wherever and end your chance. Instead, now they can redeploy. Here comes Tadpole. He's on challenge. And that was looking for Calix. Maybe one more touch could have taken it in, but it is all Triple Trouble right now in this overtime. Off the backboard once more. Freaky will look to get rid, but Triple Trouble have got dominion over this midfield. They are not looking to give it up. Bluey decides to go back for his 100 boost. Tigray almost hit Tadpole. He did catch him, and Calix scrambles to help.
What a bump by Tigray. Huge chance there for Fadeaway. Nobody expected it, I don't think. It looked like the ball was pretty uncontested when it reached the center of the box. I think the best chance has so far gone to Tadpole, though. Uncontested aerial from very close range. He'll wish he had that opportunity again. He went for placement rather than power. And I think at that range, you just have to get both on an uncontested aerial. There's no reason not to absolutely smash the ball on target.
Yeah, there's certain ranges there. It's just hit as close to the crossbar as you can with as much power as you can.
Yeah. There's just no time to read or react to a power shot from an aerial in that position. It's always a goal unless the goalkeeper just happens to guess where the ball is going to be with a pre-jump, which is so rare to see. But that's not the way that this one panned out. Triple Trouble missed a few glorious opportunities, and now it's Fadeaway starting to attack with some consistency. Look how far they're rotating back, though. Really taking their time with these offensive setups.
Calix wants to make life very difficult for Freaky. Tadpole wins the race. That's a nice win for Triple Trouble. What can they convert it into? Tigray leaves it for Yukio. Yukio wants to go the whole way by himself. Calix will make sure none of it happens. Now time for Tadpole. He's going to pass it all the way up for Bluey. It's a race for it. It's an awful angle to try and work with. Almost up to 3 minutes of overtime played. In the very first game of Regional 2, Yukio off the backboard. Tigray already leaves it, and Bluey's set up for the pass. They can look to break away here. Calix for the backboard. Freaky has read it well, and he's got it straight over to Tigray. What a pass that was from Freaky. Gets rid of the danger, almost setting up a chance for his team as well.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That was a great pass. Freaky not only thinking about how to clear the danger, but also set up a chance for his team. This game's getting a bit sloppy, though. I got a strange suspicion that we're going to get a messy goal to finish it off. Oh, that was a good try by Calix, but the crossbar was firmly in the way of it. Looks like Fadeaway just needs to calm down a little bit. A few very jumpy aerials early on in this OT that just got rushed. This has been a fast-paced game by these team standards, but they don't want to get too carried away.
Tadpole can have his chance. Oh, huge demo as well. Bit lackluster on the goal line. But it's been well communicated by both teams whenever these bumps have been coming on in. Just making sure that the coverage is there. It's going to bounce to the midfield. Tigray went across the line. It's another booming clear straight over to Tigray. Tigray now gets rid of it one more time. 4+ minutes of overtime gone. And Twitch chat was very close with who they thought was going to win it. It was a 52% to 48% vote. If this overtime is anything to go by, you guys were very correct to be very hesitant as the infield pass comes in. That's to take it. And Yukio will do so.
So though, right back to the strategy that was being employed to great use earlier on in the game is the infield pass again. Fadeaway didn't do it too much to allow Triple Trouble to start reading them and to start predicting it way before it happened. That was such a cheeky pass to win this from Tigray. Brilliant stuff from him. Before that, we were completely dead even pretty much in pressure, dead even in chances. It was a completely 50-50 matchup. But one thing to consider is that if this is a close match and nobody's really elevated their game today, then should BDS be afraid? I really don't think so.
No, that level is just really high. It was a weird game because, as you mentioned, Johnny, it seemed like the level just deteriorated partway through that overtime because we were seeing some very, very nice Rocket League from both teams. But it eventually just became a throwing our best shot at you and see if you can defend it. There was no real control over the midfield from 2 minutes onwards in that overtime, but plenty to celebrate. I don't know how to read this game. That was very close, game one. I'm looking forward to game two here. We can see just that little bit more. Now, for Fadeaway, though, getting that ball into the midfield has almost just come so naturally for them here in game one. They're going to look to try and do it again. Now, I'm going to give a lot of credit over to Freaky as well. His passing play, his ability to find players on his team has been very solid.
Yeah, it has indeed. The passes have been impressive for Fadeaway today, especially on the infield. That's another one for Triple Trouble to think about as we get further on into the series. What I would love to see from either team, though, that we haven't really seen too much of, and you have to think we've pretty much seen 2 games there because the overtime lasted so long, is the ground play. We haven't seen a lot of ball control and dribbling. It's been very, very much constant racing to the ball and trying to dominate the pace, but it's clear to me that neither team is going to be able to assert their authority in terms of speed. They look dead even in that regard. It's going to be the changes of pace, the unpredictability, the surprise attacks that really separate the matchup for me.
I've seen Bluey attempt a couple, but he's had absolutely no success with them so far. But I would also say that his approaches have been very linear. Something he can improve here. Yukio looks to the midfield. He's actually managed to get a second touch, an unintentional dunk. And now Bluey looks to break. It's so far back. I mean, I love that from Tigray. Just sit back. You know Bluey's in an awkward spot. Let him try and make the play that he can, knowing that there's not going to be much to it.
Yeah, it was the best play to make. Bluey didn't have any kind of flip reset or any way to really catch up to the ball and really change the direction it's going in. So Tigray read the play extremely well, positioned effectively, got the save that was needed, and even a little clear ball attached to it at the end.
So it really feels like we're just straight back into the overtime. The structure of this game has sort of fallen off a little bit. Tigray can't find his double tap. Always difficult to try and pick those up in the air. I would love to see Triple Trouble maybe steal a page from the Fadeaway book here. start with some of those infield passes because that backboard is covered. Freaky will set up camp over there and keep hitting you if the half volley clears. I would love to see something here. Here comes that infield, and nobody was available for it. Idea was right. Execution was off.
Yeah, trouble getting a bit too close to each other on every aggressive play. Passing is quite difficult to connect. They maybe need to spread out a bit more when they're advancing if they want to connect those passes together. Fadeaway have done so a bit better than them, actually. It's the reason that Trouble are hanging in this matchup is because the constant threat, of players like Bluey, it's something that you always have to consider. Fadeaway are always going to need to be a bit more afraid because they know what Bluey is capable of. They know what Trouble are capable of in terms of solo plays and shot creation. It's an awkward read for Bluey. He will miss it, but a bump from Freaky and Tigre. That was in slow motion as well. I don't know what on earth happened to the comms. But it can't have been something all that happy. Probably, something was said probably apologetically in German after that.
That was very much a ball cam moment, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Absolutely nothing to speak of, really. We've only had half chances here as well. Been a tame affair here. As Tadpole looks to try and break the deadlock, needs a second block. That one goes to the wall. Makes it a bit more difficult for Calix, but he'll still try his best. And this game really has been Trouble trying to knock on the door. They finally get an uncontested shot. It was skied. Calix wants one more opportunity. Didn't get it past Yukio. That was the best chance we've had.
I have no idea how that shot doesn't end up hitting the target. It was such a good pass. And it was sent miles over the bar. And now it's actually Fadeaway with a chance to attack. But yeah, Trouble missing a couple of fantastic chances in the previous overtime and in this game, number 2 as well. Chances that they'll wish they'd taken because for the past, I think now, almost 10 minutes of gameplay, they have not scored a goal.
Great. Just to lay it off to Freaky, who was a bit far back for it. Boom and clear. Tigre's going to follow, and he's got it on target. What a shot! And that is Fadeaway up by 1.
Well, take notes, Trouble. That is how it's done. What a finish by Tigre. That's an absolutely incredible shot by him. And with only 13 seconds left, you have to think it's going to be the game winner as well.
Yeah, just like that. Fadeaway up to match point. Yukio
my.
gets another one for them. And this, if there's ever been a tilter, will be the tilter for Trouble. They are going to have no idea how they didn't convert all their pressure to something.
It was just that one shot for me, the beautiful infield pass from high above the goal and just nobody able to put a shot on target. Oh, just as if to add some insult to injury, another crossbar comes in for TT. You know, it's technically possible with the 1 second remaining, but
there's
surely just a consolation goal.
Here.
Yeah, maybe they've got a cheeky kickoff up their sleeve, but if not, that will just be consolation for Calix.
Yeah, especially on the front kickoff. This can be very difficult. Freaky's going to leave it, and I'm not...
Well, they tried something. It was
I've not seen that one.
Yeah, it was a fake kickoff with a cheating player, which is usually not what fake kickoff will be used with. Fake kickoffs are usually accompanied by somebody sitting in goal, so that the ball will go all the way back to them. Obviously, with only 1 second left in the clock, there is no time for the ball to roll all the way from the center circle to the goal. So Trouble actually cheated a player forward, hoping that Fadeaway would hit the ball straight at them and it would pop up in the air. Straight out the Fadeaway goal. So actually a pretty good strategy there. I think for all the ways they could have, attempted a 0 second play, that's definitely one of them. But my goodness, the shooting late in the game here from Fadeaway, unreal.
I appreciate us getting to see the other goals, but I would happily just watch that Calix goal. Not the Calix goal, the Tigre goal. That was unreal. Honestly, what a shot. And what a way to make up for what was a pretty dull affair in terms of overall chances created and overall excitement. But that is what Fadeaway want here. They want to just soak up the pressure, find their one opportunity, and they certainly took it. No way to discredit that one.
Yeah, and it was a great display of air rolling in the setup to a shot. And this is something that a lot of up-and-coming Rocket League players will be trying to add to their own offensive arsenal. Just a tiny little air roll like the one Yukio did before dodging into the ball can add massive power to the shot, and then a bigger air roll like the one we saw from Tigray can completely change the trajectory of the ball. So definitely go back and take a look at those shots again if you want to see how to use air rolling in the setup of your own shots in Rocket League.
So here we are, game 3, and it is reverse sweep needed for Triple Trouble. And this is not how you want to get started on that.
Yeah, that ain't it. That's not the reverse sweep right there. But Tigray is definitely playing extremely well right now. He had the overtime pass to win game number 1. He had the goal to put his team in front in game number 2, and again in game number 3 here. Huge series in terms of playmaking from Tigray. And that's the goal from the kickoff.
Well, they finally got one. That wasn't quite in garbage time for them. Bluey, straight from the kickoff, he'll take that.
Oh my goodness. Well, it is
Here's Johnny with
kick
kickoff analysis.
I mean, it's pretty clear to me that they're trying to get a dead ball kickoff there, fadeaway that is. But Yukio is just full autopilot, driving down the line after grabbing the 100 boost. I don't know what on earth he had in mind or what he expected to happen from a dead ball kickoff that was clearly being attempted by his teammates. But yeah, that's not the way to synergize with a dead ball kickoff. You've got to get back to the goal. You need to, you can grab the boost if you want to, but don't cheat down the line. That ball's not going that way. That's a good commitment there, though. Freaky with a wide open net. Another dunk play from Tigray. This is becoming quite a consistency.
Tigray is having a phenomenal few games for himself. Both him and Calix coming in representing Germany. Not necessarily a country that's had a huge amount of success in the last few years of Rocket League, despite starting off incredibly well.
Shogun, I've got some good news.
So, hit me with the good news.
Freaky this time was the player at the back going for boost on the kickoff, and he turned the other way. He actually turned to go back to the goal. So already Fadeaway have acknowledged their mistake there, learned the lesson, and thought, okay, if we're going to go for these fast cheap kickoffs, might as well cover the goal with our last man back.
I have some bad news. I feel like I should let this one out. When I was on the kickoff there, Bluey was very much in all spam camera mode.
The tilt.
That being said, he could be winning or losing, and I think he would still be doing that.
True, yeah. That's just the APM, the warming up. Oh, look at that for a back pass. What is this? Freaky. Probably missed hitting that one. I don't know how he managed to catch it in that particular direction, to be honest. It was pretty bizarre. But all being said, it's not the series that we expected in terms of the game scored. I really did think this would go the distance. Oh, it's another crossbar, but this time it will go in off the bar. Calix will not be denied, like Triple Trouble have been so many times.
Yeah, this is them finally hitting the crossbar so many times that it's actually been pushed upwards in direction, making the goal easier for them to hit. And Fadeaway are going to pull themselves back into this one. Yukio assisting both of their goals so far. Obviously, the young Austrian has got a lot to try and prove. Removed from the Dignitas roster. It's not going to be wanting to drop down yet, but when Calix is hitting stuff like that, oh my word. Have fun keeping this out.
Okay, right. Okay, Calix. Yeah, I don't know if that was entirely planned. I mean, he put himself in position to get good results either way. He probably didn't expect to double touch that one on target, but into the center, yeah, I could see him intending that to happen. So huge play either way. It's just one of those times where the stars align and the rotation of the car matches the bounce perfectly.
For a series that hasn't necessarily had a huge amount of goals, this game not included, because we're already up to 5, we've had some good ones. Yeah, there have been some great shots and some fantastic passing plays. The one thing I want to see, just like I said in the last game, is more ball control. It's been back and forth, end-to-end stuff, and no real chance for either team to just control the play because hard hits have been such a priority. It's, just a bit of an old style, something more like RLCS Season 8. This is what you would see between top teams, just power shots back in the Weedham Girls era. The
this is a style that just doesn't really work against teams like BDS these days, because you give the ball back to them and then they take it for half an hour. Beautiful dunk by Yukio. This is almost unstoppable because he timed his dodge as well as he did.
Yeah, he's pretty much got the dunk. He can just put it in either way if he wants to. It is no chance.
Well played.
Yeah, if you're on the defensive line, we're up to 3 each yet again. Fadeaway still looking to take this series in a sweep. And now Freaky off that kickoff. He's got his team a little bit of pressure to work with.
Well, what do you reckon so far, Shogun? If Fadeaway can sweep here, do they get a game against BDS in the upper bracket? That's the fantastic center. Yukio's at the back post. Look at that spread of attack from Fadeaway. They don't get boxed up in one place. Yukio had all the chances because of that line of attack.
Poor Tadpole. He tried to get rid of it and suddenly realized he was getting attacked from both sides of the field. To answer your question, Johnny, maybe if we find them in an overtime.
I'm gonna go with no.
Yeah,
BDS
it'll be
that
very,
good.
very difficult.
Oh!
Fadeaway though starting to run away with this one.
Yeah, they're just the better team today. Another brilliant pass that Triple Trouble have completely failed to read, and Yukio leaves nothing up to chance. We can add shooting confidence to the list of things that Fadeaway have been by far and away the better team at today. When you look at all of the missed hits and slow shots sent into the crossbar from Triple Trouble, and compare that to the absolutely monstrous finishing from Fadeaway in games 2 and 3.
And we're now seeing what Fadeaway are capable of when they allow themselves to roam after a play, because usually it is just get straight back in, uniform, make sure that the discipline is maintained. Oh, and that's another poor ball from Triple Trouble. They are looking all over the place here as they have slowly started to descend into that lower bracket. They've only got 10 more seconds. They need a goal very, very quickly. Tadpole looks to try and provide it. That's a good challenge from him. He's got to get off the backboard. Follow-up shot is Yukio's, and unfortunately that is the wrong player from the wrong team. Fadeaway will take it in a sweep as they move on through to take on BDS.
They did look pretty good while doing it, you've got to admit. It wasn't in a series that will make BDS all that afraid. I think later on in the day, you have to think BDS are just sweeping Fadeaway here. But you'd say that about just about anyone. That's no disrespect to Fadeaway. BDS are just that good these days. And unless something's absolutely spectacular was on display here, you have to just expect BDS to walk away with a win. Now, that being said, Fadeaway, they were scoring quite a lot of goals here, which is one thing that is very promising for me. Maybe not in the BDS matchup, but definitely in the lower bracket. The fact that they've really ramped up their offense, and the striking in particular was phenomenal. Those are things that will definitely help them out later on in the tournament.
Yeah, the one thing that really sticks out for me for them is that they are using the whips well. They are using the walls. They're trying to clear from the goal line to the walls to get a more powerful clear and a more difficult to read clear, which is what you need because BDS are going to lock down that midfield every single day. So we'll get to see whether or not the Giant can be felled later on. But coming up next, we're going to move on to our next game, and that is Soleri against Team Liquid.